choose who can participate, set a delay between messages, hide or, we'll go. All right. Just checking out what the moderation says. Welcome to this live stream. Let's talk about media manipulation tactics. I was inspired to talk about this topic today because I still see people giving their attention, their valuable attention to the media and to politicians in general. And for me, it's a huge, I'm concerned about it. And I don't like to use the word concern because I think it kind of adds a layer of, intensity. I don't mean to be that way, but I am concerned about it because the media historically has lied and manipulated us in many different ways, got us into wars that we shouldn't have been in, got us to be, okay, we got to do this to bail out Wall Street, corporations and multinational corporations. And, they've hurt us financially. They've hurt us spiritually. They've hurt us emotionally. They undermine the family. And I'm talking media in the broader sense too, including the entertainment industry and music industry. That is how this cultural subversion has happened over the decades. Heavy since probably the 50s. Heavy since the 50s. And I get that. I draw that from Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. A phenomenal little essay. I should probably link that in the Great Awakening Guide. I'm going to make myself a note to do that. I need to build a media download section for that, for the guide. So Silent Weapons in the Great Awakening, because I'm almost coming out with with version 4. It's in the works now. Okay, so Silent Weapons PDF. So I need to build a media download. Okay. Because right now, I link out to all the videos in there, but I need to put that in there as well. So I will do that. And before I launch that very quickly, new cover, new everything in the guide. But my invitation to you, if you're still watching the media, you can watch it without allowing yourself to be caught up in it. But having said that, I choose not to watch it at all. I choose not to watch it at all, only because the CIA, and this was back in the 70s. This was back in the 70s, testifying in front of Congress, admitted they have people in media. They have people in. I'm assuming it's even worse now. I mean, that was 50 years ago, right? I don't want to put myself in a situation where I could be manipulated by high level manipulation tactics by the CIA. It's just a little quirk I have. So I do worry about people who are still watching the media. I don't care what it is, Fox, CNN, ABC, even quote unquote alternative media coming in from YouTube channels or Instagram channels, or again, media in the broader sense too, including movies, including music. Because of what happened over the last 4 years, I took a larger view of what was happening in media. And I noticed, low level, negative energy, negative programming that I don't want in my consciousness coming in through music. Again, subtle undertones, changing people's perception and really messing with their worldview. And also, for instance, let me give you an example. Country music songs. And I like country music. I like all music, different times, different places. But why are so many country music songs and other artists talking about alcohol and negative experience and breakups and bad luck. And again, I reiterate the alcohol portion. Alcohol, I used to drink alcohol. I don't drink it as much anymore, if ever, very rarely, probably a glass of wine every now and again. Because I learned so much more about it, right? I mean, you listen to people like Andrew Huberman, Ducey, is it Ducey? Dolce, the Dolce diet, Mike Dolce. Many health practitioners will tell you there's no benefit from alcohol. It is only detrimental, right? And I'm a slow learner, so sometimes I pick things up down the road, but I don't do that anymore because I don't want it to lower my energy levels, my consciousness, my vibration, if I may use that word. I don't want it to affect my ability to think. So I don't drink it much anymore, if at all. But why are so many country music songs promoting that? Well, they promote it because I think there's an agenda to keep people in a low vibration state, in a state of, anxiety and, lowered everything, lower experience, lower expectations, thinking about those things. I don't know. That's my assessment there. But the reason I don't watch the media is because I don't want to subject myself to what potentially is psychological conditioning or programming or next level manipulation tactics, right? And so that's my invitation to you is if you're still watching it, just think about those things. Look into what the CIA has talked about the media. That look into what, Zelensky was in a television show, a media presentation. He was playing the role of a president shortly before he became the president. Donald Trump had his stint on Celebrity Apprentice. The media is all pervasive in our world. It's very powerful. Storytelling is the foundation of the human experience. It's how we communicate. It's how we share knowledge and information. Historically, the storytellers, I think it was Plato that said this, storytellers are the most powerful people in the world. They hold the key to humanity, next to God, of course. But storytelling is hugely powerful. And it can be used in a good way, or it can be used in a bad way. And so personally, I don't listen to the media. I don't listen to it in my car. I don't watch it on television. I tune in little clips and snippets to see what's going on so that I can comment on it, because that's what my channel is about, commenting on these situations. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I do not trust it. It's very sketchy to me. So when I see people looking at the media after I feel we were manipulated in a high level manipulation tactics over the last 3 or 4 years. Many people did things they wouldn't normally have done. Many people did things they regret doing now. I see it all the times in the comments. I'm actually going to be sharing a clip of a comedian. I think his name is James Donald, someone. He's a British comedian. And he said, yeah, I regret getting the VACCINE. I regret listening to the state. Well, that sucks. Regrets suck. And my point is, if he would not have been listening to the media, he wouldn't have those regrets. I didn't listen to the media, so I didn't know to be afraid. Plus, I already in my mind tuned out the government 15 years ago for the most part, and the media for the most part. I knew they're liars. They're deceivers. They're manipulators. They're truth twisters. They're truth omitters. So I have no use for them whatsoever. They're done. They are collectively persona non grata in my mind, including politicians. I have zero use for politicians in my day-to-day activity. I wish them the best on their journey, and I pray for them that they will have an awakening and maybe do the right thing one of these days. But I'm not going to wait around for it. I'm not going to wait around for them to do the right thing. There is no evidence out there that the media or the politicians are doing us any favors. The national debt continues to rise. Taxes continue to be done. They continue to, I don't know if they're going up. I know they're still around, and I know our tax dollars are used for all sorts of nefarious things. If you look at the amount of bullshit that our government spends our tax dollars on, the stupid studies, let's start with the biggest one: the wars and the bomb and the military machine, buying bombs with our tax dollars to drop on human beings around the world, civilian human beings, I might add, women and children and non-military personnel. 200,000 to 600,000 in Iraq blew my mind. I never knew about that till recently. We facilitate the bombing of Yemen. I don't know how people live in these places. We're facilitating the bombing of Gaza. We're facilitating dropping bombs all over the world. It's bullshit. It's diabolical. It's unbelievable. We are doing that as Americans because we're uninformed. I'm uninformed. I was uninformed. My purpose now in life is to become as informed as possible and share knowledge and information with you, my audience, so that we can wake up to the bullshit and not be manipulated. We're deeper in debt. They're still fighting all these wars. Supposed war on terror, which I think is a bunch of bullshit. War on drugs, which is not a bunch of bullshit. We see that right in front of our faces. All these bullshit drugs. So if they're really doing this great job fighting this war, why are we still having, people on drugs addicted at mass level, and even some crazy drugs, the fentanyl, the new drug. What's that new drug that turns people into zombies? I forget what it's called. I should know this, but anyway. Education system. I do not see children getting smarter. I do not see them getting more worldly. I don't see the benefit of these, we're in the information age and many people still don't know things. I didn't know things, right? I didn't know what was my government's been up to for the long haul. So I don't see the evidence of us getting better as a civilization. I think from what I see, we're less healthy, we're less wealthy, we are less able to critically think and assess situations and use our higher level of mind. We are more dependent on a few group of people. Like there's many people. There's a few group of people that seem to have the money, power, and control of the whole world, or a large part of the world. It's 1%/99%, and that's very dangerous. The most dangerous thing. I talk about it all the time in my videos. It's not climate. It's not COVID. It's not any of the things that the government says. It's the consolidation of wealth, power, and control in the hands of a very few people. That's the most dangerous thing to a free and open society, but convincing people of that because their government hasn't told them that or the media hasn't told them that can be challenging. Although I just sit back and wait, they'll figure it out sooner or later when shit gets worse. But sometimes I look around to people and I'm like, how bad does it have to get for you and your family to realize the gov and the media are not on your side? Sometimes I think it has to get pretty bad and or the ultimate bad, and people still might not wake up. Sketch. Thank you for listening to me rant on this topic. I find it to be, incredibly important right now. Check out the Great Awakening Guide that I referred to earlier at greatawakeningguide.com. That is all of the best resources, all in one place, videos, articles, books, media of all kind, including like 41 ideas that you can use to help keep yourself safe as we navigate these crazy times. That was a response to people making comments on my social media at GMarkPhillips saying, hey, what do we do? Like, what do we do? The number one thing is to educate ourselves, to be informed. I forget what founding father said it. Maybe Madison, maybe Jefferson, maybe Jefferson. Their goal is to make us dumb. When we're dumb and uninformed, we're easily led to do things they want us to do, right? They want a dumb populace. I mean, look at the bullshit taught in education, public education. One of the links in the Great Awakening Guide is Charlotte Iserby. And she talks about it. She's like, they want your kids to be dumb. They want us to be dumb because an ignorant, uninformed person is easy to manipulate, is easy to lead around, right? If you're not able to think for yourself, you're going to fall victim to what they want you to do. And also the other thing about the phone situation, right? When you have your phone thinking for you and AI thinking for you, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose your ability to think. This is why I'm not down with all that bullshit. You don't want these devices to think for you, because all you got to do then is they got to put a message through the device saying, "Hey, go do this." And people go do it. There's zero thinking. If people would have been thinking and informed and thinking for themselves, they would have never trusted the gov, because the government hasn't given us a reason to trust them. They would have never trusted the media over the last 4 years. And they certainly would have never trusted the pharmaceutical industry over the last 4 years, because the pharmaceutical industry is the most corrupt industry on the planet based on fines levied from the Department of Justice. Vioxx, opioid. All of those pharmaceutical companies have been in trouble with the law since the day they were born. Since the day they were born. So they would have never done that. They're not there to solve problems. They're there to make profits. They have a culture of putting profits over people. That's who they are. That's what they do. They have, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people. Vioxx, opioid. Just in those two alone. I'm sure there are many others, because they don't, they've gotten in trouble. They've been in trouble since day one. Some of them have been, they paid the largest fines in the history of the world, but people don't care because the gov and the media told them they're good people. We can trust them. You can't trust them. Anyway, thanks for listening. GreatAwakeningGuide.com. Check out my merch at focusandflow.co. There's links anywhere on my, maybe not in this particular video, but on social media and or other descriptions. Mediabusinessblueprint.com. That is the guide that I created to give you all the systems and checklists and tools and resources that I use to create my media business. If you want to do it too, I think it's a fantastic opportunity right now for people to make an impact and potentially make an income in this day and age. Thanks for listening. Leave me a thumbs up if you like this video, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye. Okay, now how do I go out of this live? That is a good question. That is a good question. I don't go often in through this. I don't go in horizontal mode. And now, come on. Come on. That's crazy. Oh, I see where it is. It's right there. Thanks for watching.